What's up, everybody? This is the Alpha over here, and welcome to Alpha Analyze, my series where I review, analyze, and rate various TV shows and movies. For this first episode, I'll be reviewing The Mandalorian Season 1, which just concluded on Disney+. So before I get down to telling you my thoughts on the show, I'll be doing a brief synopsis of each episode, giving you the important parts. So, spoiler alert if you haven't already watched this series. The Mandalorian is a Disney Plus original series based in the Star Wars universe, adding to the already massive franchise. The show is produced by well-known actor, director, and filmmaker Jon Favreau, who is best known for films such as Elf, the 2016 Jungle Book movie, the 2019 The Lion King movie, and various Marvel movies which include Daredevil and Iron Man 1 and 2. He is also known for his recurring role as Tony Stark's right-hand man in the MCU, Happy Hogan. The Mandalorian is the story of a Mandalorian bounty hunter, nicknamed Mando, who is part of a guild run by Greef Karga that live by specific rules. Don't ask questions, forget what you saw, and don't bite the hand that feeds you. The show starts off with Mando returning to Greef to get his payment for a bounty that he's just completed, as well as asking if there's any others that he can get. Greef tells him there's a particularly high bounty, but unlike the others, there is no bounty puck, and Mando has to meet the client face to face. Mando goes to meet the client, having a bit of back and forth with some of the stormtroopers before getting down to business with the client. The client reveals that he can pay Mando handsomely in Beskar steel, a rare, expensive metal that Mando uses to make his armor, so long as the bounty is brought back to him, preferably alive. They provide him with a tracking fob, and Mando makes a quick stop to get a new shoulder plate made from the Beskar. It is at this point that we get some flashbacks showing a bit of Mando's history, but we don't really get too much information just yet. That's later to come down the season. Upon arriving at the destination planet, Mando meets Kuiil, who teaches him how to ride a blurrg and shows him the encampment that he needs to go to collect his bounty. Mando asks why he helps, and Kuiil tells him because he's never met a Mandalorian and because he wants some peace. As Mando prepares his attack, his plans are thrown off when a bounty hunter droid from his guild shows up and causes a ruckus. The droid, IG-11, and Mando decide to work together and split the bounty, though Mando's not particularly happy about it given his distaste for droids, something that comes up more frequently throughout the rest of the series. After breaking into the stronghold, they find what they are looking for, though unbeknownst to them, it is a small green child that the community has dubbed Baby Yoda. And yes, I will be referring to him as Baby Yoda. IG-11 decides it's best to kill him before turning him over to the client, but Mando disagrees and shoots IG-11, leaving him alone with Baby Yoda. Having retrieved his quarry, Mando and Baby Yoda prepare to head back to the ship, but after getting ambushed by some other bounty hunters, Mando decides to stop for the night so he can repair his armor and heal his wounds. It is at this moment that we get our first hints that there may be more to Baby Yoda than we assumed. The next morning, Mando finds his ship has been practically dismantled by the Jawas, and after attempting to chase them down in their crawling fortress, he goes off to meet Kuiil again, who thanks him for bringing peace back to the lands and agrees to help him get his parts back. Kuiil find the Jawas and start negotiations with them, and after some debate, they agree to give him his parts back if he can retrieve the egg of a mudhorn. He agrees and then proceeds to pretty much get the crap kicked out of him, and is only saved when Baby Yoda shows that he can use the Force, lifting up the mudhorn from the ground. This tires Baby Yoda out, but gives Mando enough time to kill the mudhorn, which then allows him to get the egg, which he brings back to the Jawas and gets his parts back. Mando and Kuiil spend the next few days preparing and putting the ship back together, and Mando thanks him, offering him a spot on his crew. But Kuiil declines, saying he spent his whole life working and only wants to be free and relax now. Mando wishes him good luck, and the two of them depart. Returning with Baby Yoda, Mando heads straight for the client to collect his reward. However, Baby Yoda doesn't like the look of these guys, but there's not much he can really do. As he's taken away, Mando breaks his guilt rule and asks what's going to happen to him. But the client just reiterates the forget what you saw rule, as well as providing a thinly laced threat to not ask. Mando goes to have new armor made from Beskar steel, having a small run-in with some of the other Mandalorian soldiers, who were not happy about them having to hide after the purge that nearly wiped them all out, as well as him making deals with the Imperial officers. But the fight is calmed by the words of the Mandalorian Smith before she receives to forge new armor for Mando. Now clad in his new armor, Mando returns to the guild where all the other bounty hunters look at him in jealousy. He asks Greef how many of them had tracking fobs, to which he replies that they all did. After getting some more bounty pucks, he prepares to leave, but asks Greef if he knows what will happen to Baby Yoda, to which he says he doesn't and didn't ask because it's against the code. Mando heads to his ship and prepares to leave, but after having a change of heart, goes back to where the client is and after dispatching with stormtroopers, tries to escape the planet. However, he is stopped by the other bounty hunters, but is saved when the other Mandalorians show up, allowing him and his new little friend to escape the planet. Mando and Baby Yoda land on the planet Sergan, where he hopes to hide and lay low. However, Mando gets on edge when he spies a woman who he believes to be a bounty hunter. The two have a small scuffle outside, with Baby Yoda watching and creating one of the best memes for the end of 2019. When they go back inside, the two have some soup and talk, where it's revealed that the woman, Cara Dune, is an ex-Rebel Alliance shock trooper who is also hiding out here and believed that Mando was tracking her. After this, the two go separate ways, though not for long, as a few villagers track Mando down and ask him for help to protect their home. He recruits Cara to help as well, as this could be a good hiding place for them all. Upon arriving at the village, the kids there all fall in love with Baby Yoda, something that helps Mando to believe that this would not only be a good place for him, but that he may be better off leaving Baby Yoda here because he doesn't want to endanger his life having to be around a bounty hunter all the time. While out scouting, they come across the tracks of an ATST, prompting them to try to convince the villagers to leave, but upon their refusal, Mando and Cara begin training the villagers for battle. After an intense battle, which resulted in the destruction of the ATST, Mando prepares to leave, hoping to leave Baby Yoda with the villagers, but decides against it after Cara shoots a bounty hunter in the woods that was tracking them, showing that Baby Yoda is still not safe and is best left in Mando's care. After an intense firefight, Mando lands on Tatooine in hopes of getting his ship repaired, but makes clear that he doesn't want any droids working on it. Polymato, the mechanic, tells him that it's going to be kind of pricey, so Mando heads into the cantina where he meets Toro, a rookie bounty hunter. Toro tells Mando that he's after a woman named Fennec Shand, an elite mercenary. Mando originally decides against it, but agrees only after Toro offers him the entire bounty prize, as his only goal is to get into the guild. The next day, Toro brings two swoop bikes and they head off, running into some Tusken raiders before finding the body of a dead bounty hunter, putting them on edge. Mando is shot from a distance, though is not hurt, alerting them to the fact that Fennec is onto them. They decide to wait until the cover of darkness before they ambush and capture her, using their swoop bikes and flash grenades to blind her. Deciding to take her in alive, Mando heads out to get a dewback for them all to ride on, leaving Toro to watch over Fennec, who reveals that Mando is one of the most wanted men in the galaxy at the moment, and that he would be a much better prize than she would. She tries to convince Toro that she can help catch him and that they can split the money, only for Toro to shoot her dead, deciding to get Mando on his own. Mando returns to find her body and heads back to a ship where he finds Toro holding Baby Yoda and Peli hostage in hopes of getting Mando to cooperate. Unfortunately for him, Mando is not the kind of guy you mess with because he easily outsmarts and dispatches him. After checking that Baby Yoda is unhurt, he pays Peli for the repairs and babysitting before taking off. Mando meets with an old friend, Ran, who tells Mando that he needs help with a job. Mando isn't super thrilled about this, especially when he sees the crew he's working with, but agrees to it as he's short on money. The crew, which includes an ex of his named Seaon, wants to use his ship as it's not wired up with the same surveillance as most modern ships because it was made pre-Empire. Things only get worse as Mando comes to find out that they're rescuing someone from a maximum security New Republic prison ship. The infiltration of the prison ship starts and things get crazy as they are attacked by security droids, though Mando is able to disassemble them fairly quickly. Making their way to the control room, Mando is not happy because he was told that this ship was only filled with droids, and after a bit of a standoff, the guard is dispatched by Seaon, though not before he activates a rebel homecoming beacon, leaving them even less time than they thought. The group quickly find their man, Quinn, who is Seaon's brother and ex-partner of Mando, who got him sent to prison in the first place. It is here that we find out the real reason that they wanted Mando was to get back at him and leave him in Quinn's place. Their plan fails, however, because Mando is resourceful and not only breaks out of the prison cell, but proceeds to go all alien on their asses, picking them off one at a time before coming face to face with Quinn, who reminds him that he's supposed to be a man of honor and that he has to finish the job. Mando returns Quinn to Ran, who asks about the others but is shut down by Mando using the no questions asked rule. Mando leaves. Rand gives the command to take his ship out, showing his betrayal, but is shocked to see new rebel ships heading towards them. It is here that we learn that Mando had stolen a tracker from the control room and placed it on their ship, leading to them all getting what's coming to them. After receiving a message from Greef, who explains that they need to work together to take out the client, Mando decides that it's time to return to Navarro to end this, as it's the only way that Baby Yoda can be safe. However, not trusting him, Mando decides that he needs to get a crew together of his own that can watch his back. His first stop is Sorgan, where he reunites with Kara, who agrees to help once she finds out that the client is an Imperial warlord. Afterwards, they head to Avala 7, which is the planet where he met Kuiil. It is here that we learn about Kuiil's past as a slave for the Empire and how he had to earn his freedom. We also learn that after Mando left, he found, repaired, and reprogrammed IG-11 to be a service protector droid instead of a bounty hunter, though Mando still doesn't trust him. And so, with the crew complete, they head off to Navarro. We get a small glimpse of Baby Yoda's force powers once more as he's using them on Kara when he believes she's trying to hurt Mando. When they arrive in Navarro, they meet with Greef and it is clear that no one trusts anyone, but they all agree to the alliance. That night, around the campfire, they all go over the plan before being ambushed by dragon-like creatures, one of which wounds Greef. Baby Yoda walks over to him, and though he believes that Baby Yoda is trying to eat him, he is amazed when he's actually healed by Baby Yoda instead. After this incident, Greef has a change of heart, shooting the bounty hunters that came with him and revealing that the whole thing is actually a trap. Coming up with a new plan, Greef takes Mando in with an empty crib along with Kara, while Kuiil takes Baby Yoda back to the ship. The client is glad to see them back, and as he prepares to check if Baby Yoda is actually in the crib, receives a transmission. When the mysterious caller asks if they have the baby and if he's checked to be sure he's in there, a sudden rain of bullets comes in from the window, revealing numerous troopers as well as a mysterious figure outside. Mando tries to contact Kuiil to tell him that they're pinned, which alerts a pair of troopers to him, resulting in Kuiil being killed and Baby Yoda getting captured. After capturing Baby Yoda, the troopers stop and wait for orders to rendezvous and where to drop him off, where we get some great banter, but also get to see IG-11 beat these guys into the dirt. That's what you get for hitting Baby Yoda. It also cements that Kuiil was right and that he really could be trusted. Back with Mando, we get a bit of a backstory from both him and the man outside, who we learn is actually Moff Gideon, an Imperial officer who took part in the Great Purge of the Mandalorian people, which led to Mando, whose real name is Din Djarin, being orphaned as a foundling before joining the Mandalorian Creed. Gideon, who seems to know a lot about everyone in there, including Kara and Greef, agrees to give them until nightfall to hand over Baby Yoda, or else they would all die. Finding a sewer vent, they attempt to escape, but are running short on time and options, but are saved as IG-11, now equipped on a speeder bike, flies through town shooting troopers left and right. This is enough of a distraction for them to join the battle, but Mando is soon hurt and dragged back inside. Getting orders that they all be burned alive, and a flamethrower is brought in to do the job. Baby Yoda steps up for one of the coolest moments of the scene, using the Force to push the flames back and kill the trooper. IG-11 gets the grate open, and Mando tells them all to go, believing he is too hurt and that he's going to die. IG-11 agrees to stay with him, while Kara and Greef leave. Mando expects IG-11 to kill him, but IG-11 tells him that he can help, but that he must remove his helmet. Mando refuses, as no living thing is allowed to see him without it, to which IG reminds him that he is not a living thing, giving us that awesome face reveal that we all have been waiting for. They soon catch up to Kara and Greef before finding their way to the Mandalorian Smith, though not before finding out that the Mandalorian numbers have been reduced since they revealed themselves to help him. She tells Mando that he is now the protector of the child, and he must raise him as his own before giving him his sigil as well as a jetpack that he will need to learn to use. The group leaves, finding a lava boat and believing that they are in the clear, only to find out that a battalion of stormtroopers are waiting for them outside of the exit. IG-11, following factory protocol that he can't be captured, goes to self-destruct, something that Mando is against as he's come to trust the droid. However, IG-11 does so, knowing that Baby Yoda will be safe with Mando, as this is what he was programmed to do. They escape, but are ambushed by Gideon in a TIE fighter. Mando straps on his jetpack, latching himself onto Gideon's ship, and plants charges to detonate and take the ship down. Greef is happy and offers Mando and Cara places back in the guild, but Mando declines, taking Baby Yoda and leaving Navarro. Before the episode ends, we see that not only has Moff Gideon survived, but that he's in the possession of a Darksaber, which means he's not done with Mando just yet. So now that we're all caught up, let's get down to the ratings. Examples of the pacing in this show go from things like Mando's growing trust of droids, Baby Yoda's force power slowly developing and becoming stronger throughout the season, as well as the impending doom of the Imperial soldiers, not only giving us a big battle here at the end, but also giving us a bad guy that's not only imposing, but also sets up well for the next season. The only time I would say the pacing was a little stagnant would be during episode 5, as really the only purpose of this was to show us that Mando was low on money. But I personally feel that this was done better and more effectively in the following episode, where he has to take on a mission with people he doesn't care about and doesn't trust just for a little bit of money. Overall, I would give the pacing for this show a 4 out of 5. Being that this is a Star Wars series being produced by Disney nonetheless, it comes as no surprise that the visuals are spectacular. From the set pieces to the costumes, even the special effects, everything just looks nice, tight, and neat. We even get nice callbacks to places like Tatooine, something that not only provides good fan service, but also makes you feel that bit of nostalgia that really makes you appreciate the attention to detail that went into this. I give the visuals easily a 5 out of 5. Like with any show, the acting is the most important part, and just like any good show, the acting here is on point. Without a single doubt, the characters feel real, believable, and at every moment provide a nice, entertaining experience for all to enjoy, especially with Pedro Pascal in the leading role as everyone's favorite Mandalorian. So, I have to definitely give the acting in the show a 5 out of 5. Moving on to the final category, or as I like to call the overarching elements, also known as the action, comedy, and drama, I have to say the action is very much what you expect from a Star Wars movie. Lasers, lasers, and more lasers. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. In fact, I think that's one of the things that really improves on it, because it's not just constant laser battles. It builds up and makes you really feel like every bit of action that comes into the show is well choreographed and just really fits into what's going on in the story at that moment. The comedy in the show is rare, and that's what makes it work so well. Most of the comedy comes from situations like Baby Yoda standing by, eating his soup and watching his friends fight, as well as the stormtroopers just sitting there having a normal conversation. And that's what makes it so good. It's not jokes, it's just people doing everyday normal things that just fits well into the story at that moment. The drama in the show is good because it has a steady, slow build-up over the season that has a satisfying payoff at the end of the season, kind of like when you finally finish putting together that large puzzle you've been waiting to put together. But mostly I feel like the drama really hits its peak at the beginning and the end of the seasons, from episodes 1 through 3 and episodes 7 and 8, where you can kind of see that it was an overarching story, and then we just kind of had a little few mini missions in between, which I think isn't a bad thing. So, for the overarching elements, I gotta give it a 5 out of 5. So, after adding up all the scores together, I have to give The Mandalorian a 4.7 out of 5, which definitely means if you haven't already, you need to go and watch this show. I may have given you a brief synopsis, but that pales in comparison to just how good this show really is. It's taken the internet by storm, and you definitely need to take your time and watch this, because if you're a Star Wars fan, you will definitely enjoy every single moment of it. That's going to do it for us today, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys later, and let me know what you guys thought about this. Peace.